Dyslexic Genius here. What we're going to do is we're going to disassemble Chasing History's Victor II motor. So the first thing you always take out of the phonograph is the governor. Now, I've talked before about how this acts like varnish or super glue, and it'll glue everything together. So this oil staining here off the motor has gone all over the motor, so some things get stuck and they're hard to get apart. And I'll talk you away. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the governor out. So we're going to come in here and we'll back this screw off that bearing. Now we're going to take the back bearing screw out. Going to push on the governor to see if the bearing moves. The bearings don't move, so it's locked up. So what you do, you get a little pair of pliers. We're going to clean these off later. You're going to gently grab that and see if the bearing will pivot. That one doesn't.
What does it mean if they don't pivot?
That means it's glued in from the varnish from the oil. You're going to have to beat it out. Take this one. Oh, that one works. Pull that out. So when you pull it apart, you can see here in the center where that oil's gotten, and it like turns into super glue. You can see right there where the screw was holding it in place. But that stuff gets in there and it clogs everything up. It's hard to get apart. So now you just gently pull on it. There we go, pull it out. It'll pop out. So now you look, and you can see there's burrs on the pinion here where it rides in the governor. That's the lack of oil. This one too, you can see the little ribs on the line. This is why we polish this out, to put it back in to make it run smoother. Now that you got that out, we're going to take this piece off, which has 2 screws. Now, if you looked at the motor board closely, you'll see there were 2 holes in the top of the motor board, the wooden part. That's so that you can take the spring barrel out of the machine while it's still hooked up to the motor board to change out the spring. That's what Victor did for you. Now you can see this is loose. You just pull that off. After you undo those 2 screws, you pull that off. Pull that spring barrel like that. And now you have to undo these 2 screws.
Which 2 screws, John?
This screw here. We have the governor drive gear right here on the spindle shaft. This is the spindle shaft. So, and this is just a spacer. So we'll undo this one. And then we'll take out the other one at the top of the motor board right here. Now we're going to take out the ball bearing end. We just clean those out. tight. So now that that is on tight, too tight to get off, we have to put it in the vise. We're going to clamp on this side and this side of the motor board. And it won't hurt the casting. We're going to push down. Man, that one's in there. Okay. Try it one more time. There we go. You heard that snap? Mm-hmm. That's glued in there. And this is a special screw that goes in the bottom, and there's a ball bearing in there. There should be. We hope there's a ball bearing in there. There we go. With a little WD-40. What that's going to do is melt the oil in there. Set it up a little. Aha! You see how the WD-40 loosened up the grease, and that came off like that. This over here. So what I did was I'm knocking it out with a punch. That gear comes out. That comes out. And you could use a steel punch because these are hardened on the end. And that's where the ball bearing runs. It won't hurt anything. You can see how dirty this is.
How are you going to clean all this stuff?
I'm going to clean it all in simple green and polish things out. Now we're going to flip it around. And I'll put money that that one's tight too. I think I've taken too many of them apart. That's why the screwdrivers are square like that, so you can put a crescent wrench on it. But you want to make sure you're pushing straight down on that thing. Nope, that's not coming out. Okay. So what we're going to do, we will put mouse milk in here and let that soak for a while to see if I can get this screw out, because we have to take this casting off. If it won't come apart, we can clean everything and leave this casting in place. And that's how you get a VIC 1 apart, and that's my tip for the VIC 2 apart, and that's my tip for the day.